A very common question I come across is that how do I know if I'm at my real twin flame or the person I am with is a false twin? And the question you should actually ask is very different. That why do you even ask? Because if you ask this question, it probably means that you are not happy in that relationship and you try to figure out if you should stay or if you should leave. Or maybe your relationship didn't work out and you really want to know why. And the deeper reality in this is that you are interested in relationships, and relationships are coming from the attachment system. And the attachment system is the energetic system, and it's connected to the inner child the most. And even empaths or codependents, or when we talk about the Enneagram, the one-on-one subtype, is going to be in it, or when we talk about the attachment types, the four attachment types, the anxious preoccupied is going to, and twin flames, the twin flame chaser is going to be most connected to this part of the nervous system, that you are overly focused on the relationship and overly focused on the partner compared to other type of people in general. And the deeper truth is that it absolutely doesn't matter. There is no measurement who your real twin flame is. It's because it's everything is subjective, and it's not like taking these two pans that which one is which and you can compare. Internal experiences cannot be really compared because in reality anything that you see as a list, you can interpret it in a way, the way you really want to say it. And that's why you have to ask very different questions from you. That is, do you feel that you are validated in the relationship? Are you happy in your relationship? And if you are happy, why are you happy? And if you are unhappy, why are you unhappy? Is your partner an emotionally mature person? Are you an emotionally mature person? Because if you are overly focusing on the relationship, you are not emotionally mature. It doesn't mean that you are self-aware. It means that you are overly focusing on the relationship, because an emotionally mature person is going to be able to detach from a relationship when it's not healthy anymore. And I know these are really difficult to hear because I was in this as well, that it felt like an evil force overriding me. And I tried to look into anything that would have told me that you are supposed to stay in this relationship, it's going to turn out fine. And I had to face the reality that it was not true. And even when you are watching videos on the internet, you really have to pay attention to, is that video really opening up your mind, or is it reinforcing what you really want to hear? And you have to be very honest with yourself, because if it only reinforces you, it means that you are going to remain exactly the same. So if you feel unhappy, if you feel dissatisfied, that video is going to give you a quick buzz, that you will feel good, but overall, in the long term, it will make you suffer because you have remained the same. And this is where self-honesty is going to be very important, where you really sit down and you allow those negative emotions to come up. You take a piece of paper and you really write down what you feel. What is your pain? Because many times we rationalize, look, this is science, so this is how all of us operate, that we make excuses, that this is how, this is where. And it's not that you are stupid, or it's not that you are doing something wrong. It's that we all go through these self-development phases where we are stuck in the same loop for very, very long until we realize that that loop is unhealthy for us. And then we end up in a different loop that we believe it's a lot better. And then we keep going until the point we realize that no, this is not good either. And then this is how you actually change. And when you make lots of changes, that's when you can compare, because what happens with these changes, you change internally as well. So instead of being a rigid observer that you are this one person who never changes and I just look outside, you actually start to change inward and become different versions of yourself. And this is how you can actually compare it. Okay, when I did this, this is how I felt. Okay, now I'm going to be a little bit different, how it's going to feel different. And you have to do it quite a lot of times to have more and more internal awareness that if you change something within you, if your reaction is going to be the same, if your behavior is going to be the same, how that makes you your reality different. And probably a great example is that when I was with my twin flame partner, when I was a chaser and he was a runner, the experience was that I felt really anxious all the time. I hyper focused on him. And when I tried to resolve a problem, he just disappeared. He ghosted me completely. And when I could actually integrate myself, and this was a very, very huge difference between us, that I could become very angry and he could become very avoidant. That when I actually changed, I was able to change and become in the middle. Actually, the way I started to communicate was a lot calmer. And because I behaved in a very different way, he started to behave. His reaction became very, very different as well. But on the other side, because I became more healed, I have actually realized that he was very, very unhealthy. And although I really, really loved him, the relationship wouldn't work in the long term. So basically, I didn't only change within and has grown within, I have actually outgrown that relationship as well. Because whatever has seemed really good in the very beginning, it was only because I had a lot of unhealthy behaviors, and I've seen the other unhealthy normal as well. But when I became healthier, I have actually seen his behavior actually unhealthy in a way that it wouldn't work, because a relationship would require a very different type of person, because there are certain things in a relationship that are absolutely crucial, and it doesn't matter how much I love that person. If those elements are missing, that relationship will not work in the long term. It's like you cannot make a potato soup out of carrots, and this is just a basic law of reality, and this is what you have to look into as well, very, very honestly. How is your relationship and how you react in the relationship? And instead of is he this, is he that, or is she this, is she that, you really have to look into, is your relationship healthy? And look into psychology books, because that's where you are going to learn the most, especially if you look into the 4 attachment types. See you in my next video.